You're back. I see you now.
I'm back.
All right. Um, yeah, we're live.
Sweet.
Here we go. Um, yeah, where to start? Parking lot etiquette.
Is
It's
that the
been a
list? We
long
just want to
week.
start.
It's
Do we
been a
just want to
long.
go down the list of stuff? Just like
I
wham
think
bam.
so. I think so. It's been a long
Um,
week, and I
Let
forget
me
where I'm
pull my
at.
list up then real quick so that of things that I've texted you. There's a couple others that I'm like that we could add to this list, honestly.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, I didn't put them in any specific order. I just started listing things. But parking lot etiquette. Oh my gosh. I don't know what it was the last week and a half, 2 weeks, but that is ridiculous.
yeah. There's a couple trailheads in Utah where I'm like, dude, you guys got to get it together.
So in Island Park a couple years ago, we might be going on 4 or 5 years ago now. They actually started like putting the picture up of here's the parking lot. This is how you should park your vehicle. This is how it should be laid out. Cars or like
Yeah.
trucks over here, trailers over here. Lay it out like this. Do you think people could follow that?
No.
Yeah, it's like freaking rocket science, man. They might as well done that photo in braille. Like it's like they just drive right on by it. Don't even think about it. So,
I mean, you could live in Utah, which I don't know how much I need to explain about that, but
well, there's that.
Utah drivers are, interesting. So if you go like Mirror Lake Highway, for example, tiny little parking lot. So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of, if you're not there before about 8 a.m., you have to park along the road and you need to turn around in the little parking lot. But people
Oh yeah,
will like block the whole thing off. And then, if I'm there late, I got to back the 40-footer up all weird to make it happen. But I think it's gotten better because now the DNR are up there. They built a snowcat shed.
okay. Oh, they have like their own little shed there,
Yeah.
just at Mirror Lake.
Yep. Yeah, they moved it up
Right?
from the lower lot.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So they're actually like there, making sure people aren't fully handicapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so I wasn't there. My little brother was there with my one of my kids, and they had to push a car out because a guy had parked in a way that nobody could get around him the one direction. Just and all he had to do was pull forward like 10 feet,
Yeah.
and he had 40 feet he could have pulled forward, but nope, he blocked everybody off. He's it's like, oh my goodness, it's
Just,
like what are they? I don't know. Do they just don't think about anybody else than themselves? I don't think they do it on purpose or maliciously. Do you?
I don't know. I'm beginning to think that people lack, like, I thought snowmobilers had common sense. I don't know. Maybe not. Like
Some don't.
if you're the first guy in the parking lot, or say that you're the last guy to get a spot, like you'd think about, okay, I'm gonna park here so the other guys can come and park here, here, and here. Like, right? Am I
You would think
crazy?
I do. I do. I know you do. You pull up and you're like, man, if I park here, nobody's getting around me, or this
Yeah.
guy's not going to get out. And what if he comes back before I get back? Like, and then I've blocked him in. He's waiting on me. That's going to ruin his day.
Yeah. I rolled into the Noblets
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, I think it was. The place was packed completely, but everybody parked correctly. And I got the trailer around, looped around the parking lot. I was able to, find
That's awesome.
the last parking spot, but I was impressed with Noblets. So the people that are going over there, a little smarter than the people going to Mirror Lake Highway.
Well, we won't razz on Mirror Lake Highway guys too much.
I won't. I'm
So,
sorry.
oh, it was weird. It was a bad week for that because there was multiple places. I was like, multiple parking lots, different areas. I was just like, man, this is like it maybe. Maybe along with our avalanche education, we need to do parking lot etiquette,
Maybe it needs to be in, the morning brief. Did you park your truck correctly?
vehicle properly.
Yeah,
If you didn't go fix your vehicle right now before we leave,
yeah.
that's part of your trailhead check. Call your buddies
So
out at the trailhead check.
just use some common sense, people. Come on.
Oh, shoot. Speaking of avalanche education, Duncan's post.
Yeah, Duncan Lee put out a really good post the other day. Um,
Yeah.
I got to learn how to pull stuff up on here. There's a way. I
How,
need to learn how
how
to.
much better would it be if you could pull Duncan's post up and we
Dude,
could talk about
it would
Duncan
be super
and
awesome.
tag Duncan? Be like, hey, Duncan, get on here, goober.
It if someone out there uses Streamlabs, hit me up. Teach me, please. Please.
There's got to be a way. Figure it out, DJ.
There's a way. I see it in here under sources and stuff. Um,
You just haven't had the time to mess around with it because you've been out guiding and teaching courses. So,
yeah. But
but
what
so
what was the
Duncan,
basis? Yeah, what's the basis of his post?
well, what did you get out of it first?
I got out of it that snowmobilers, I mean, need to get this education right. I mean, I'm gonna pull the post up
Are you pulling it up?
somewhere in here. It was on Facebook, right?
It was he. Well, he did it on Instagram, but he shared it everywhere. So you can be Facebook or
Okay, so Duncan says that he's been teaching education, avalanche education, for over 10 years, right? Specifically to the motorized groups,
mm-hmm.
and that every rider should understand some key fundamentals about avalanches, how to rescue gear, or how to use rescue gear, what observations help with safe decision making, and how to perform a proper trailhead check or proper trailhead check before every ride. Um, basically, why isn't this happening?
So let's go back here. Like we started the season off fairly early with a couple of deaths,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we still had a couple recent ones. But you saw your avalanche courses fill up quick
Oh
because it was
man,
like bam, bam, bam.
dude, that's the sad thing. If people die, it's like a moneymaker for me. I mean, thank you, but no thank you at the same time, right?
I mean, we're out here teaching the courses to prevent people from dying, but unless somebody dies, nobody in the motorized community signs up for a course.
Now, motorized users are very reactive. They're not proactive. They're reactive.
Yeah. Um, there's it's been interesting. I've noticed that the Avalanche Alliance this year has been really pushing that. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you have the gear doesn't mean you're good, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
got to get you got to get the training to go along with the gear. You don't know how to use the gear. It doesn't matter how good and how fancy your gear is. You got to know how to use it, right?
yeah,
So I don't know if we want to put names out there or whatnot, but the death up in Monte Cristo, right? Um, had the gear,
yeah,
right? You and Weston talking about it here
yeah. We were
the
chatting
other day?
about it. From the sounds of it, his transceiver was turned off. His airbag was on. His airbag was armed, but transceiver was turned off. And I'm not sure that his riding partner had any training, knew how to use the beacon. I mean, in the end of the day, though, the biggest thing is they missed the trailhead departure check, and that is like how many lives
Baseline.
just in Idaho? How many lives would that have saved in the last
29 in the last 20 years. It's
all?
like 95% of motorized avalanche fatalities in southeast Idaho in the last 20 years. The trailhead check would save lives.
That's
Just that.
insane. That's insane. And this like once you get this down, it takes no more than maybe 2 minutes.
So I videoed this with my kids,
Yeah.
right? My youngest, my youngest, I didn't have everything for him, and he was gonna be, squirreling with me anyways. But if they were driving a vehicle, they had a backpack, shovel, and probe with a radio, and they had a transceiver, and we went through a trailhead check, and I hit record with my GoPro, okay,
Yep.
DJ, and I recorded from the moment we started the trailhead check to the moment we ended, and I was helping my little girl who's never done it before, never, right?
Yep.
2.5 minutes.
Oh, see, and that's like explaining it. I mean, this is it's such a bummer that people don't do this. And I was, my course, my last weekend's course, they showed up a little early, and we're just
Mm-hmm.
doing some people watching in the parking lot, seeing what other
Yeah.
riders were doing. Man, it was like 75% of them left with no gear at all. Um, no, I didn't see one departure check. Like we sat around for probably an hour just watching,
Yeah.
nothing. And then we get back there, and we're on we have a really crappy snowpack. So we get out there, and I run into two guys high marking. Um, it was an aspect that was about 35 degrees. It had a big wind slab on the top of it. It's where we find the
Yeah.
persistent weak layer, and these
Hey,
dudes
it's
are,
probably where the best snow was, DJ. It probably
yeah.
was where the best snow is.
But these two dudes are sitting there high marking it, no avalanche gear on them. I roll up, I'm like, hey guys, like, did you read the report today? And they're like, no. And I'm like, the conditions are sketchy, man. And they're like, oh, well, it's like super stable though. So no avalanches. And I'm like, are you sure about that?
Super stable. How did they know it was stable?
And I just said, look, guys, like on a slope like that, I noticed both of you don't have rescue gear. There's a good chance if you break that, you might not come home, man. I'm like, it's your life. You do you. But I'm gonna,
Uh,
I'm just want to let you know. We rode about 500 feet up the hill, and the class was talking about. They're like, dude, what are those guys doing? That's what we're looking at. Da, da, And
yeah.
then one of them shoots up the hill again, and one of my students was like, "That's a fu DJ," and I'm like,
Big old middle
"Yeah,
finger. Tell us
uh,
what to do.
big old middle finger to the avalanche
Oh
instructor." Like,
man, that's horrible,
and,
dude.
and I mean, it's it's not like it was likely or certain that it was going to happen, but
But
you
it's
know,
possible.
but it's
It's
possible. And yeah, when human avalanches, triggering avalanches is possible by human, you might want to think about that.
no. And even with it, it's probably likely that day that a human triggered
Yeah.
avalanche was going to happen, right?
Yep.
And didn't you have a couple of skiers caught or something that weekend?
Yeah, we had two accidents that same day. One involved a death of a
Cool.
skier, and
Reminded me.
the other one was three skiers caught in one slide together. Two were able to self rescue, and then they dug up the third person, a female victim who was buried 5 feet deep.
Wow.
Luckily, they all skied off the mountain together. But a very well known, respected ski guide here in Utah passed away that day. Super bummer. A lot of my friends, I had a couple friends that knew him really well. Very, very well, well known guy. Just, it sucks, It
Oh, that's frustrating, and it
does.
happens. Well, and he's had the training, I'm sure, right? Because they're
Yeah.
doing backcountry ski guide, so he's had the avalanche training. We're still human; we can still make mistakes,
Yeah.
right? But the difference between us and skiing is, um, we don't have to be on avalanche train to have fun.
No, we don't. We do
Um,
not.
which is probably the biggest thing. Is like why, like when the snow's awesome and the avalanche danger's high, we just need to go play where there's not avalanche danger.
Yeah, and
But
I
you
was,
got,
I had a discussion with our friend Weston.
yeah.
Um, and Weston
And he
was
comes from the ski side of
he
things,
does. He's a
but he's
skier.
turning into a motorhead.
Yeah, we've turned him into a full blown sledder. But he said, that I think that's the reason why I like sledding so much is that a 30-degree slope is like a bunny hill when you're a backcountry skier.
Yeah.
So these guys are really threading the needle. They're just looking at the aspects so closely. They're looking at the slope angle so closely. and they're making these really wild
Yeah.
decisions. Like, it's between likely and unlikely, and that's risk tolerance. I mean, that's you got to decide that, right? So
Well, and but if you don't have the education, you don't have the knowledge, you don't know the risks you're taking, how do you decide what
yeah.
your risk tolerance is?
And that's like the guys I ran across high marking that hill, no gear on. It's like the unknown unknowns. These guys were completely clueless,
Yeah.
and I can't blame them. I can't get mad at them about that. Like
No.
they don't know, but I you know I try to say something. If you see something, say something.
And that's all you can do. And then maybe they'll go look into it next time, right? But
Yeah,
it'd be worse if you were like, well, at least I never said anything. At least I tried.
yeah,
And if they continue to, then it's on them, right?
yep,
So, no, it's tough. The motorized industry, I mean, I don't know, like the skiing industry, that's just what they do. If you're going to go backcountry skiing,
yeah.
you go get your rec level one.
Well, and going back to
But if,
Duncan's post,
yeah,
there's education out there now. It's available to you guys. You should get educated and come back a couple years later. One of my students this last weekend took level one 3 or 4 years ago on skis. Now he's a snowmobiler. Wanted to do a motorized course. Figured it was time for a refresher, and said that he took a lot from the course. So that was cool. He was
I
like, "Yeah,
also I also think taking courses from other people is super beneficial.
oh, so much, man. Like even us as area instructors, we teach kind of similarly, but there's like I love listening to you and Aaron and dude Weston. Like I
No, I
really
want to teach with
enjoy.
Weston.
Yeah, like Weston's one of the best, man. But and D Lee would be fun, but it's good to hear other instructors. So
Oh, Kelly was awesome to teach with here a couple weeks ago over in Oregon, getting her side of it, how she goes about it. Um, like you're going to pick up different things from different
yeah,
instructors because we all kind of go, "Hey, I feel like this is the thing we need to focus on," and you feel like it might be something a little different. Um, and as much as it's like, I just wish you'd come to me for your avalanche education all the time. Reality is like, I think you need to spread that love out a little
mm-hmm.
bit to everybody and go learn from other guys. Go
Yeah,
get that,
you should. You
right?
should. Yeah,
And it gives you an opportunity to ride a different area, which is always fun.
yeah.
It's just too bad that it requires a death to get people thinking about it.
It
I
really
really thought we
does.
were gonna blow some, these courses here through February. We're really gonna just be bursting at the seams, which we have quite a bit of people signed up, but there's still there's still some room for people to sign up, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I scheduled a course on Super Bowl Sunday. That was my mistake.
Yeah,
But
I hear you didn't miss much, so I
no,
didn't. I don't know.
no.
I was delivering sleds and working on sleds, so yeah. But
So yeah, just Duncan's post was good. I mean, check out Duncan Lee. Go see his
yeah,
post.
he put it together really well,
He
right?
did.
Like it's one of those deals where it's like I don't even know how to add to it. Way to go, Duncan.
And
So
he ends it with I've lost friends to avalanches. I have been in avalanches. We are all human and make mistakes, but those mistakes should not be due to lack of training.
yeah,
Get out, get trained.
mistakes are mistakes, but when you don't know what you don't know,
Yep. The unknown unknowns, baby.
um,
So, speaking of
uh,
an unknown unknowns,
yeah,
it's unknown where your riding, I guess,
partners are.
partners are on the mountain.
You know what's interesting, and I didn't bring this up when I kind of slated this because this was, we had this kid. The mom said it was 14. The news reported it as a 12-year-old who
Yep.
basically spent the night alone in Tony's Grove, well, Franklin Basin,
Yeah.
right up in that area. And he is a 14-year-old kid, first time on a snowmobile. Wind chill well below -15 that night,
Oh, so cold.
right? What I didn't give you is they had a similar incident with a 15-year-old girl in Island Park a
Same
couple weeks
time?
ago too.
Oh, really?
A
Okay.
couple weeks ago, right? And her story is like almost more bonkers than the kid down here in the Logan area.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, they find the kid just a couple hundred yards from the last spot they saw him, up in the trees, right
Yeah.
down here in Logan. Somehow he survives the night. It doesn't sound like he had any of the equipment or gear. Didn't have a fire. He
Yeah.
huddled down next to his snowmobile to get out of the wind, to stay warm. Like, oh my gosh, right?
I mean, you got to be prepared. It's
Yeah,
so last year I started taking Tyson riding. He's let's see, he was 14, 13, 14, turning 14 at the time. Or no,
yeah,
sorry, 14 turning 15 at the time. Now he's almost 16, but he's prepared. I had a radio on him. He had avalanche
yeah.
gear on him.
Dude, just going back, just having a radio on
Yeah.
everybody, that kid wouldn't have spent the night.
Yeah, and radios are, I mean, they're dirt cheap, man. Like
Yeah,
you don't have to have the nicest Bluetooth Oxbow. You can have
yeah.
there's
There's
tons of
cheap
two-way
radios out there.
there's two-way
Yeah,
radios out there that you could buy and they work
for
well.
$30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think honestly, into my Bofang setup with a mic, I might be $70,
Yeah.
right? Um, but it's kind of similar. Well, so that day, that Saturday, I'd taken all my kids,
Yeah.
right, all four of my kids, and we built a fire because they thought that'd be cool, and my kid, we were short of sleds, so somebody had to be standing around, so I built a fire, right?
Yep.
And my 14-year-old, when I was actually going to get ready to go down and search for this 14-year-old, I actually left. I made it 15 miles from my house where they notified everybody that he was found. But um, I looked at my 14-year-old and I'm like, hey, how easy was it to keep that fire going yesterday? We
Yeah.
weren't trying to stay warm. It was more kind of a cool experience. And he's like, it sucked. Like we couldn't stop getting branches and limbs, and we were cutting down dead trees and whatnot. And I'm like, and you had your older brother helping you, and you had me helping you, and you had two younger siblings helping you. And if we stopped, what happened? Well, the fire wanted to go out. How easy do you think that is when you're by yourself?
Oh man, it's tough.
It's
It's all
hard.
yeah, it's all about strategic placement, you know? I mean,
Yeah. And so it made me think like I have the stuff to like fire starter and matches that will light underwater and lighters and stuff with me. But if I put that stuff in my kid's backpack in case something were to happen, we got separated.
yeah.
Um, how am I teaching my kids? And I'm like, the next time we go out and do this, my kids are going to be the ones that start the fire, not
Yep.
me. My 17-year-old, my
Yeah.
14-year-old, they need to be the ones starting the fire, right?
Well, it's I mean, one, I wouldn't even have left the mountain. I'm sorry.
Well,
And
yeah,
I don't
we
know. I
won't.
don't
Yeah,
know if he
we
did.
don't know the situation. We
I
don't
don't
know
know the
everything.
situation, so I can't, look into too much, but, you know.
Yeah, yeah, we don't. You don't leave. Yeah, and
But
maybe
it
they
is.
didn't.
It's like
Maybe,
maybe
yeah,
maybe we do need to I mean, for sure now in my son's pack, I'm definitely going to put more survival stuff in there.
yeah.
you know.
I mean, just a lighter match and some fire starter.
Yeah.
Just something so that if the worst case happened and he has to spend the night, he's by himself. He's got the stuff there.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember growing up, my dad one time had me light a fire with nothing. He's like, "Can you start a fire with just your snowmobile?" And I'm like, "Right."
Yeah.
And I stuck a stick down the um, tank and got it all full of fuel and pulled the spark plug out and pulled the rope and sparked and lit it. Right, like,
Yeah.
but who wants to do that today on their
Well,
snowmobile?
and if you ride
You
as
can't.
if you ride as
Dude, you'll freeze to death before you get to the spark plugs. Let's be honest, DJ. If you ride a skidoo, you will freeze to death before you get a spark plug out to do that with.
It
And
takes
then
a
I'm sure,
it takes
dude,
a
I
minute.
bet there's some safety thing on a Skidoo that if you pulled the spark plug out, it wouldn't spark.
Oh, it will. It will.
Are you sure? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Yeah,
trust
I'm
it.
sure. I'm sure.
I don't believe you, Deej. I do not believe you. But um but just I mean those are just things I think maybe we got taught it really well, how to follow tracks to find people. As guys,
Well,
we get really good at that, right?
well, we were like when we were young, you like we learned how to shoot guns. We learned
Yeah.
how to start fires. Like I remember learning how to fish in school.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like
already knew
we
how, but
went
I
fishing
took the
as a
course,
school.
right?
I
Like
mean, we
there,
went fishing as a field trip in
yeah,
school.
it was just it's like a different time, and these
Yeah.
kids don't get that, and I need
They
to,
probably go fishing on their phones or something at school for field trips. So
yeah,
some
probably,
app.
yeah, download the
Maybe,
app. We're all
maybe,
going
maybe if
fishing.
DJ, you think you could just download an app of a fire on your phone and just keep you warm at night?
Yeah,
Oh
definitely,
shoot.
definitely.
But yeah, there was a girl in Island Park that went out with her. I'm going to say boyfriend. Says her friend that's a boy,
Ah,
and
mm-hmm.
they went out and they're both driving their own snowmobile. Hers got tipped over. He made it back to the cabin, and she couldn't tip hers back up. Right? He makes it
Yeah,
back to the cabin, thinking that she just went back to the cabin because who knows how long it was before he turned around and looked back for her. Right?
oh God,
So he goes back to the cabin and they're like, she's not here. So now he has like no idea where she is, right? Well, her sled tips over. She can't tip it back up. So she starts walking, thinking she's walking back to the cabin. She walks 2 miles the wrong direction in the snow. 2 miles, right?
whoa,
Finds a cabin that nobody's in and breaks in to this cabin. This
that's
15-year-old girl.
that's impressive
Well,
though.
that is.
That's impressive.
Yeah. What that means to break in, I don't know what that was. Don't know if she broke a window. I don't know. But she didn't know how to get like the furnace going and whatnot. So she boiled water to pour on her to get warm. Hey, she was warm. She finds a piece of paper and a pen in this cabin. She writes a note, says, "This is my name. This is my parents' name. This is their phone number. I am at this cabin. Coming to get me. I need help." Hikes the 2 miles back to the snowmobile, puts the note on the snowmobile, hikes the 2 miles back to the cabin to get warm again.
Wow.
And search and rescue finds her in the cabin, right?
Yeah.
Like 8 hours after she's like gone missing. Um, bonkers,
Well,
bonkers.
at least I
So
mean that's a pretty good story though. I mean,
yeah,
she took action. She did something.
she did do something right. And I mean, I'm not quite understanding. Like the news report was she boiled water and poured on herself to get warm. I don't know if that was like she put it in a tub and made like a hot bath by boiling water because the water heater wasn't turned on or something. Or
Was it
I don't know.
maybe it's to just heat her hands up, hopefully, not
I,
her.
I, I don't I don't I don't know. I don't know. I mean, boiling water on yourself's not going to be the best idea, but
No. No.
and then go back outside to deliver a note to a snowmobile that you've abandoned.
Yeah.
So, but it did like those two instances this year. I'm like, I need to be passing on things that I guess I think I take for granted, DJ.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like,
Same.
what do you do? What do you do when you get lost from the group? What's the rule? You go back to the last place you were with it. You saw everybody. That's just the rule. It's the rule I
Well,
grew up with. You
I
go back to
had
last scene,
yeah. Yeah.
right? Last
I
scene, last place, somebody saw me, and I sit there and I wait till they come back for me. You don't go off plan, you don't get close to it. This is where I was the last time they saw me, right?
yeah. Yeah. The last scene point thing is it's real,
Right?
man. Not everybody has a 7S display.
No, I know. Those Skidoo guys
And
are
even then
freaking
we've
rebels.
lost people with 7S displays.
I know. It doesn't work. It's not perfect. It's electronics. It
Yep.
doesn't always work. Um, the whole you're responsible for the guy behind you.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are you turning and looking behind you? Well, he's your responsibility. If he misses a corner, it's your fault, right? If he
Yeah.
gets stuck and you leave him behind, it's your fault. You're responsible for the guy behind you,
Yeah.
right? Just things like that. Having the proper gear, not just with you, but like with my kids in their packs, right?
Yep. Yeah.
They got to have that life saving gear. So,
Teach the youth,
uh,
baby. Yeah, we got to teach them.
which kind of leads into the next one with the technology and
Yeah, let's talk
its
about
impact on
technology
travel.
and its impact on travel. Are we going to bring up a certain somebody
Who?
and his ever dying love to spread all of the riding zones?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude,
Speaking
did
of
you listen to
technology,
his? Did you listen to his thing today?
no.
Oh my gosh, man! Like he's on this kick, dude. It's so hard. It's so hard to
He's
get. I don't even know.
hardcore. He's hardcore on the
Oh my
kick.
gosh, this he's gotten into this pirate thing. It's so hard. I have to like skip most of his crap that he talks about, and whatever. Me and Aaron were talking about it, but and I'm just gonna come out like Chris is. It's getting to the point where I'm gonna unfollow him at this point. Like I'm just to that point to unfollow. It's getting annoying. I see that your buddy Steve Martin commented on his last post here, but
Oh no. Oh
um,
no, what'd Steve say?
he he posted a picture of the map of the next storm coming in, and Steve just goes, "If you've got a dirty mind, this is a really awesome photo," or something like that. Um,
That's funny.
it was pretty good, but dude, I can't. So here's the deal. Did you see it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Steve's awesome, man. I wish Steve.
If you're curious who we're
We need to get
talking
Steve
about,
on him.
we do. We do.
So, but as soon as he said that, and you look back at the photo, you're like, oh yeah,
What
exactly, Steve.
if you guys were wondering what we're talking about, it's the Snow West Forums Facebook page.
Yeah,
Feel free to go check that out and
yeah.
see
Go have a good time there.
go have a good
But
time.
but he's on this kick this week about the whole sharing honey holes and locals. Is it the locals riding area or is it for everybody? And it's just like, dude, you don't understand. Like it's everybody's. The mountains are everybody's. I 100%.
They are.
Uh,
They are. But
right
there's gates. There are gates. And it's
there,
not that it's a real actual gate, people. I'm talking about it's a
like a
terrain
rite of
feature. It's
passage.
it's a rite of passage. It's a terrain feature that you have to conquer to get in there. And that's one of the biggest things. People are always hitting me up asking me like, "Dude, where are you riding? Where is that? Where is that?" Bro, look, it's not for you, okay?
Ah, yeah. Well, he brought up in his post today. He's like, these guys have traveled like 20 hours, and if it wasn't for me guiding them around, but I'm not a guide. I'm not a guide.
He's not a guide.
I'm going to call myself a pirate guide, which means if you go back in time, we and Aaron were talking about this. Like, pirates were people that broke the law,
Yes.
right? They constantly just were tyrants and broke the law. And so he's calling himself a pirate guide, which means he knows he's breaking the law, but whatever. I don't even care about that. He took 20 dudes out yesterday. 20 dudes that
Oh,
met him in the parking lot at a scheduled time, at a scheduled location. They followed him into the backcountry and he showed them honey holes. I wouldn't even call them honey holes. Honestly, if you would take 5 minutes, open up a satellite map, Google Earth with satellite imagery, you go, oh, hey, there's no trees right there. Oh, this is how we get there from the trail. Boom, done. That's all the time it takes, right? And he's like, oh, if it wasn't for me, they would never know about this. Well, here's the deal. If they're so freaking lazy that they're not going to open their phone while they're sitting on the couch at the cabin waiting to snowmobile the next day to find that pocket in the trees that might be untouched in the meadow, this one meadow that might be untouched, do they deserve to go right there, DJ?
no. No.
I don't think so,
Come on,
right?
guys. Come on. Like
Like, how? And that's it, right? Like, I'm just like, we're not even at like we're not gatekeepers. Take some time. We've been riding these areas for decades,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
the amount of sweat and
Yeah.
sometimes the amount of trees I've had to cut down
Yes. The
to
amount of
get in
stocks I had to get out
to
of my
get
like.
into a zone.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, on Monday I went out with the boys. Oh, it was good. I went on a I like it was
I
so
know. I'm
fun.
jealous. I wanted to go there.
I was just
I
like,
should
you
have
know what?
come
I'm
down
doing
each.
it. You know, the wife was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going snowmobiling with my boys today." And she's like, "It's Monday. You need to go to work." And I'm like, "I'm not."
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Right.
Anyway, we got stuck at one of those gates. I was like, "Guys, we got to get up in this zone. It's gonna be sick." And
That's yeah.
we were stuck at the gate for like, dude, 2 3 hours. It was just carnage, carnage, carnage. And finally we got up and we got all the way to the top, and everyone was
Did
just like,
Weston make it past that? Did he make it past the crutch?
I'm sorry to say, but Weston did not make it through.
He
He
didn't. I thought he
no
turned around after that. Man, he didn't
no
get there.
he turned around at the gate, man. He couldn't get through. He was on
Oh
the
man,
146, and
dude, those 146 turbos are fun, but they're rowdy as crap.
I told him, I was like, look, there's only one way to ride that machine, and it is as fast as it will go.
It's Steve Martin style. We'll say
It
Steve
is.
Martin style. Skis up, throttle to the bars, and
Mm-hmm.
never let go.
Nope.
And dodge trees. He's got to dodge trees.
Yeah.
You're tree dodging fool at that point, right?
Oh yeah. So it was
Yeah,
sucks because Weston didn't get to join us for the end of it, because the end of it was like where the cool factor was, right? I mean,
that's where it's awesome.
it's where it's awesome, and I
And
was
and
bummed he
when
didn't get
you
up there.
when you've taken the time to figure out either like how you're going to have to get into a zone, or you figure out where this zone is that maybe no one's ever been
Hmm.
to, or road, and you find that route in and you work for it and you get there, pretty freaking awesome.
There was some other tracks up there. They were Dan Gardner's.
Yeah,
That's my zone,
that's
Dan.
Dan's.
That's
It's
my
Dan's honey
zone.
hole. Yeah, yeah, that's Dan's zone. If you ask Dan, you can't be going and shredding that up and showing it to anybody, DJ. You
Look,
can't be taking.
the Dan Gardner National Forest used to be this big, but I have
It's
taken
small.
some of it over, and now it is this big. You hear that, Dan?
Shoot, oh man,
There's a new
yeah,
governor
but
in town.
you've got to be pretty on your A game if you're going to take the fresh snow from Dan,
Yeah, you do.
because he
You
puts
do.
the work in, right? That's
He
why he
does.
always gets the good snow. He follows the storms.
Yep.
I mean, he goes out there and runs around the mountains in the summer to find the ways in the winter,
Yeah,
right?
he knows his terrain, that's for sure. And it's cool because the one thing that I noticed about Dan's tracks, because I followed him for a minute, is that he really understands terrain and
Mm-hmm.
what a 30-degree slope is and what's not. And I could tell that because of the avalanche danger, I could tell of how he was taking lines to avoid avalanche danger. And that's just, dude, that's a smart dude right there. Like, just kudos to
Well,
Dan.
and the other thing, the one of the things I miss, I haven't rode with Dan for a long time, but I missed following Dan because not only is he picking lines like that, but they're smooth. They
Yep.
flow, right? They're really flowy. There's not a lot of uh, knee jerk reaction
Yeah.
movements, right? It's a really flowy line. And it's been a while since I've rode with like that way. It seems like I'm always stopping and turning around and looking for the people behind me these days.
Yeah.
So I don't get that flow in. But he does an awesome job of picking flowy lines. He does a great job of, but he puts the time and effort in. The amount of time that guy spends out in the mountains, the amount of time he spends on digital maps, Google Earth, 3D in those things, looking at
Yeah.
satellite imagery to find these cool zones, like that's I'm not even asking for guys to do half that. All they literally have to do is pull their phone up to Google, open up with satellite imagery, go, here's the trail. Oh, there's a pocket of no trees over there. Can we get there? What's that going to take? Oh, right here. Bam. And Chris is just over there like, I'm just going to show everybody. I'm going to give coordinates. I'm going to video going in and out. And we're just going to hand them to them on a silver platter.
Yep.
Like, they don't have to put any work in, they don't have to do anything but show up and get guided by a non-guide and follow this guy around. it was him and 20 other dudes this
Dude, how
yesterday.
do you even ride with a group that big?
It was pure chaos. It's stupid. And when
It
you're the
is.
only one that's supposedly in charge and everybody's following you,
When you're the guide,
like,
I mean, wait, you're not
well,
a
you're not
guide.
a guy. You're not a guy, man. They're not paying me. They're not paying me.
When
Like,
you're
I'm
a
not
pirate,
getting any money out of this,
when you're a
right?
pirate and you have
You're just,
20
pirating it.
shipmates,
And it's a full ship show in the
a whole
mountains.
ship show up there on the mountains.
Oh, man. Anyways, and it's like, I don't even care. Like, especially on the park, flipping blow that place up. That thing's so,
Yeah.
that area is so overpopulated with snowmobilers. It's crazy. But to his, like, it cannot snow for 3 weeks up there in Island Park, and you can find fresh snow.
Yeah.
With as many snowmobilers that go out there, you can find fresh snow after 3 weeks of no new snow. It's crazy.
That's cool.
But go ahead, like, come on out, guys. And if you're unwilling to put the effort in, pay a guide.
Yeah.
Like, I
Or
feel like,
or get on the ship, the
yeah,
Snow
get on the
West
ship
Forums ship
with
and float on
with
out there.
Captain Graybeard, I think is what he's calling himself. Oh gosh, dude,
That's
it's
hilarious.
so comical. But I mean, to it, like, it's tough because he's out promoting the sport, and I'm like, sweet Chris, promote the sport.
Yeah,
I just
it's
think he's going. And maybe my way is wrong, but I feel like he's going about it wrong.
my opinions have not always been the right opinion, but
And
it's my opinion. So,
yeah, and yeah, I don't know, but I think you did there's like a gate, right?
yep.
There's this rite of passage, and you've got to go through it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you don't respect the
that's
mountains.
that's how I got into the Boondocker crew is because I got through the gate and I started finding all Dan's lines and sending him photos of them. And he was like, "Crap, this guy's going into my zones. I better let him in."
Better bring him into the fold so he just doesn't.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I love the fact that people are coming out. He made a comment. I guess one of the comments that really kind of pushed my button today was, without him, these guys would have never been able to find this spot. And I was like, well, and that they took this 20-hour trip. And if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have the most epic day out there. And I don't think he meant it that way. But at the same time, it's like, so if I owned a guide facility, a guide business in Island Park, and you've got this guy that's willing to take a countless number of individuals out in the backcountry and not be their guide for the day and show them all the honey holes
Mm-hmm.
and do it for free and nothing. Um, why the heck do I have a guide business in Island Park?
Right. Yeah. Why is Forest Service give out permits?
Yeah, yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah? I mean, I don't know why Officer Angel hasn't pulled this guy over and given him the what's up yet.
Yeah, you better get on Officer Angel. Hope you're watching
Yeah,
this.
he won't. He won't because anyways, so with that being said, DJ, we'll move on because I could
We'll
go.
move on. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
move on.
yeah.
Upcoming courses. What do you got? What do you got for upcoming courses?
Well, you got one this weekend.
Yeah, I got a level 2 going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be a blast. I
Has
love
Aaron
level
committed to
2s.
that yet? Are
Aaron
you doing
has
it or
not fully committed because I also have some guiding to do. I'm like a double booked weekend. I have a lot of those. I don't
so?
stop.
Level two this weekend. Who knows who's teaching it? Could be you. Could be me. Could be Aaron. I'm thinking Aaron. I'm hoping Aaron
I'm hoping
gets to
Aaron.
teach it.
Aaron should do it because
He needs to.
he needs more level 2 teaching, and it's a really fun course, and I want him to have some fun.
He needs to teach it. I agree
Yeah.
100%. Aaron should be teaching it.
So
We'll see
what's
what happens though.
yeah, and then
Um,
I mean I have
Next week I'm busy.
yeah. What do you guys got going on next week?
So next week we're teaching
Is that the Brundage one?
Bonneville County SARS.
Oh,
We're
cool.
doing we're doing like it's a rescue course. It's going to be a SARS rescue,
Mm-hmm.
right? because they're different because they're search and rescue, right? Like it's going to be based off of going in and really focused kind of on that recovery side of things,
Yeah.
with actual rescue skills in there. It's kind of a hybrid. We're going to do like a 4 hour in classroom deal the day before to just talk about some stuff. And then with that, we also have a rescue course going on. I think we're up to 9
Oh, sweet.
out of the 12. So we got like spots for like 3 more.
That's good.
So, and that's on the 21st. So that's this Friday coming up. So we still have spots for 3 more people next Friday, right? Um, do you have anything next weekend, or is that your weekend off?
That's my weekend off. My kid's turning 16, so we're gonna go ride some dirt
Ooh,
bikes.
dirt bike it up.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're gonna go hit the track and some stuff. So
Sweet. Should
yeah.
be good. It's nice and warm in Utah, so you can do that.
Yep.
Um, and then the following week's crazy busy. I think busy for everybody.
Yeah, I think we got the off-road expo going on here in northern
Uh
Utah. We
huh.
also have Cheyenne Rasmussen is teaching a women's clinic here,
Yes. Oh, down
and
there
yep, and I think I
for
have
you with you,
yep,
like it use on your permit. Sweet, dude.
yep, and I think I have a group of like 7 coming out to ride,
Just right.
just to ride. Yep,
Well, and then Aaron's going to be in McCall teaching a level one with Brundage,
that'll be
which we've
cool.
got 5 or 6 signed up over there already. They got room for 18.
Wow,
So we've got instructors and we've been given permission to have up to 18 students. So, um,
take advantage, people.
dude,
Take
that's
advantage.
huge. I'm actually surprised that course isn't like filled up, right?
Yeah,
So that's going to be the weekend of the 28th, right? At Brundage Mountain Resort. You can either stay at Brundage. We're going to be able to use their facilities over there. Like that's going to be awesome. And I wish I was headed over there, but I'm not. Aaron's going to head over there. And
nice,
then I'm pretty sure as of today, I'll be teaching a full level one out of Alpine
awesome.
with the Snow Devils,
Oh,
the
cool.
Jackson Hole Snow Devils. So they reached out, and we should have that up and running. I'm pretty sure. Just I'll yeah, I'm sure by tomorrow I should know for sure. But that's a full 12 students.
Yeah. So I
Um,
was next weekend. I was originally going to go to the Snowy Range and
oh
teach
yeah.
with 3C, but we had to reschedule it. Um, I got to do
So
one
when's that
thing
going to
for my
happen?
son. We're going to reschedule it for sometime in March.
Okay.
But we're going to do a level 1 and a level 2 in the Snowies, like kind of back to
Okay.
back thing.
Okay.
And then there's another level 1 I got March 8th and 9th here in northern Utah in the UNS. Got a couple people
So
signed up for that
still
one.
still plenty. Well, there's still plenty
Yeah.
available, right?
And
There's
if you
still
guys
plenty of
want, like,
courses.
if you guys want private courses, we teach private courses. If none of these dates line up for you guys, just hit us up. Like, I'll do it
Yeah.
during the weekdays. And I
We're
mean,
like if
dude,
you've
a
got
group of
four
4 of
guys or
you.
more,
Yeah, you
yeah,
got
you
4
got
dudes. We're in.
yeah,
We're totally
yeah. Let's
in.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Um, so we got a lot of courses coming up. There's still a lot of opportunity to learn, get that training in. So then you've got a little bit of time still here to utilize it, and then you go into next season with the training, right? Like right out of the gate, you
Yeah.
already got it, which is good. Um, oh, and there's stuff in March. Oh, we've got a course in Bozeman, like on the 23rd of March, I think.
Dude, you know what though happens in March for me? I
What?
start intermixing dirt bike riding and
I know.
snowboarding. It's like I'm looking at my schedule in March right now and I'm like, whoa. And then, dude, April,
Dirt bikes,
just
just dirt bikes.
insanity on dirt bikes, man. It's going to be the craziest April I've ever had.
Dude, that's awesome.
It is. I'm
That's
looking forward
awesome.
to it.
I hope to get down and ride some dirt bikes into March. I think we're gonna hit it. We'll go down to Arizona for spring break and we'll dirt bike, and then I come back and I go to farming. Unlike
Yeah.
you, I don't get to play anymore, DJ. I got to go to work.
You did see my
Um,
March 11th, 12th invite, I hope.
I did.
It's a
Um,
weekday. It's like a Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm in. My wife is going to Florida on the 28th of February and gets back on the 9th or 10th.
Okay.
So it's one of those deals where it's like, fingers crossed we can make that happen.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
hope so. It'd be fun.
uh, yeah, be a good time.
If
So
anyone wants to join, we're headed to Green River dirt biking,
be a good time.
March
Like
11th to 12th.
I kind of want to take my two older boys with me
That'd be cool.
and bring them down, my Foster and Ethan. So,
I know my kid's grades are looking amazing right now. He's probably gonna get
really,
to do a lot of riding if he keeps it
that's
up.
good.
So
My oldest, well, both my kids' grades are a lot better than they were last semester because I'm like, I'm not taking you snowmobiling if you don't get your grades up. So
yep,
they've been good, and we got to go riding last week. So, um,
a lot of sarcasm. Let's talk about sarcasm on
well,
the internet.
so I guess my sarcasm is probably pretty dry for one, and maybe people just take me so serious. But I've
Dude,
made a couple
everyone
of
takes me
posts
serious.
posts recently that I was like, they were supposed to be fun posts,
Yeah.
and they ended up not being, apparently not fun posts. They were like serious
Uh,
posts. Has that ever happened to you?
oh my gosh. Nearly every time I post something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like, I made a post. It's like if you watch the video, especially if you watch it enough, you see that Drew, first off, wasn't doing anything crazy on this 9R coming up and over this ridge line that my little brother was filming with his GoPro. And Drew has a second backpack on. He's got two backpacks on. And he comes up over like nonchalantly, not in it or whatever. I was supposed to be squirreling a guy up the hill. The guy is about the same size as me. We're about the same size. And it just was not working. We were hitting facets, TJ. We used those facets couldn't give us the traction we needed.
Yeah, yeah.
So um I ditched him and came up over the hill like full wheelie mode in my boost. Right. Just just messing around. And as soon as I saw my brother was filming, like I just held on to it even more. Like I'm just gonna play more, right?
Yep.
And I made it kind of like I apparently I didn't do a very good job of like, well, if anybody asks me if I want a 9R or a boost, I'm just gonna show them this video, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, and man, people took that so serious. It's like, why so serious?
That's how it goes. I don't know. I
I even
like
had Skidoo guys commenting on it, dude.
I don't understand the internet. I mean, everyone does get kind of antsy and angry about things, and I mean, y'all just need to chill. Just
Just
chill.
I was just trying to have some fun. I was trying to poke fun at Drew for kind of wussing out and weak saucing it up and
Mm-hmm.
over the hill.
Yep.
And he actually got super pissed at me. He's like, dude, why do you have to post that video? I look like a fool. Like, well, cause it was funny. That's kind of what I was going for. Shoot.
It's so funny.
And people got super serious. There was another one that I posted that was even worse. I was like, guys, do you not? Oh, it was about the fresh tracks, setting fresh tracks in Island Park,
Yeah.
and it was like 3 inches of fresh snow. And I was like, dude, you get fresh tracks, you got to come out here at midnight because there's so many people, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, people were like, dude, there's not even there's only 3 inches of snow. Like, guys, do you not get like the sarcasm here, the comedy here? I'm just trying to point out like
Look,
there's a
guys,
crap ton of snowmobilers up
we're
here.
we're big up and coming comedians. Okay, just give us
Yeah,
a break out here. Give us a break.
pretty soon, we'll be like movie stars.
One day.
We should make a movie, a snowmobile movie that is on the same level and comedy structure of like, let's see, what?
Old school.
Yes, boom, lay it there. No, no, even better, hot shot,
Ooh, yes.
hot shot, right?
Or
I
hot
think we could
rod.
do.
What
Ooh,
if we
hot
got a
rod.
what if we got an old
Ooh,
phaser and we hot rodded it?
ooh. Now you're talking. Let's do hot rod. We can build jumps on the
Yep.
in your neighborhood on the street with
Yeah.
an old phaser. You had an old phaser.
I did. I sold it for $100.
Did you sell it to Brandon?
No, I sold it to a student of yours. His name's Adam.
Oh,
Adam in what's his brother's name? Dallas.
oh,
Yeah, they bought.
okay.
Yeah, Dallas and Adam
They
bought it.
bought it just for like nostalgia.
No, they were just like pumped on it. They're like, "Oh, dude, phasers are cool," and it was. It was a 1989 limited edition. It was maroon and black. It was the hot sauce,
Uh,
baby. I
that's
picked it
awesome.
up for a striking $300 a couple years ago. It quickly
And you sold it
became
for.
banned in the family because it went too fast on the trails, and I couldn't keep up with the kids.
Even with your turbo, you didn't want to blow a track. Huh?
No, yeah, you could blow a track, and so I was like, "All right, we're nixing this thing from the fleet. Y'all are getting crazy. Y'all are getting mountain sleds."
Yeah. Oh shoot.
And then it just sat
Well,
on the side of my house for years.
I thought maybe you sold it to Brandon because I was at Brandon's place the other day. I've been there quite a bit this last week. Actually, he's got a pretty cool setup there at
Yeah.
the Pines. Actually, way good setup, dude.
Oh,
Brandon's
nice.
killing it. I'm stoked for Brandon and what he's got going on there at the Pines. So if
Yeah.
you're going to Island Park, you need to rent a snowmobile. Hit Brandon up there at the Pines.
Yeah.
If you
He's a
don't,
hustler. That kid. He's
he's cool.
hustling, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, especially if if Stable Mountain's completely booked out, because that's going to be the first place you go.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
if we're booked out, then hit Brandon up. Um, but he has a phaser sitting on top of the snow pile that's like 8 feet off the ground right now up
Yeah.
there. And I was like, I wonder if that's DJ's phaser. But it's just like I don't know how he got it up there, and I feel like every time they plow the snow, he just moves it higher. It just puts it back up on top.
His little
But
crane.
yeah, I don't know how helicopter. He's getting to the point where he's gonna probably have to have a helicopter, but maybe he drives it up there. There's a possibility he
Yeah.
drives it up there. Those things were miraculous. They would go places, and you just go, how?
Yeah, it's true. I took Tyson backcountry riding all the time on it, and he cruises around everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Uh,
Well, any cool recent
dude,
student experiences?
student stuff. I've actually had a couple of students reach back out this year a
Mm-hmm.
couple of times. That's been cool.
Yeah.
Um, like ask questions. Had a student here the other day that was like, "Hey, I'm going back through the online learning,"
Oh, sweet.
and uh, had some questions about the framework a little bit, and more of like, "Hey, so normally, like, I guess when we instruct, right, we're instructing and we're setting an example, right?"
Yeah.
And we're trying to make that example like fit every case, but it doesn't necessarily fit every case. Like, let's be honest, like we can't, right? You know what I'm saying? Is that
Yeah.
making sense, Deej?
Yep.
And so part of that was like our plan when we go to write our plan and our framework, right? For our as we get ready to ride before we leave the parking lot. And I'm pretty sure you do it. I know I do it. Like I when I'm instructing that and I'm giving people like, hey, this is how you can do this. This is how I would do it today. Here's this option. Let's talk about this as a group, right?
Yep.
We're usually putting in there like we're leaving the trailhead here. We're gonna ride the trail to this location. At this location, we're gonna bell off the trail. We're gonna head towards this zone, right? Maybe
Yep.
it's a mountain, maybe it's a meadow, maybe whatever that might be, right? Because that's what our goal is for the day, right? Because we want to get to that area. We want to travel through avalanche terrain. We want to talk about how to travel through avalanche terrain, what to look for, all of that, right? So we have this
Yep.
specific goal when we're going out. And his question was, "Hey, when I go out, like I'm just going out to ride, and I'm going to go where the best snow is, but that doesn't mean I'm going like I'm leaving the truck and I'm headed to this mountain or to this meadow or to this ridgeline or this specific location. Like, how do I put that in my plan?" So I gave him an example, but I'm curious. How would you answer that, DJ?
So putting the plan thing gets a little bit interesting with snowmobiling. Um, this level two I taught a couple weeks ago. We had low snow,
Yeah.
And I gave the students, I dropped a pin. I said, "Yo, get me here." And they tried. They had really great routes. They had 3 routes total, but we got skunked on every route 'cause low snow. And so we had to come up with like, kind of a backup plan, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, well, where can we go ride that we've already ridden that has snow? Let's do that because we're familiar with the terrain rather than venturing into new terrain. Um, but it's man, it's tough being a snowmobiler because I always bring up Onyx and I say, here's the route that I drew to take, and here's the actual, and I show them the
Yeah.
difference. I show them the snowmobiler, and I show them the planner, basically.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is I like to just say, hey, if you're going into an area, just make note of what's dangerous, make note of landmarks, things that you can familiarize yourself with, and that is going to help you because look, man, we get back there, the snow's kind of good over here. It's, just
Yeah. Well, so, and that's kind of like we have a couple of zones where it's just like, man, you're gonna. I mean, you might try making a loop, or you might draw. Just all you're doing is dropping down this one draw, right?
mhm.
But sometimes you don't know till you get out there, depending on where the snow actually landed,
Yeah.
right? Or more emphatically, how much of it blew from Nevada or Utah into the zone and stayed in Idaho and didn't make it to Wyoming yet.
Yeah.
That's usually more the case, right?
Yep.
Um, so it's hard to be like, hey, I'm going here and I'm going there, and then I think it's like, well, what if you deviate from that plan? It's like, well, honestly, buddy, like, and as I told him, like, the really the thing we need to have in that plan are those guardrails that we're going to have in place for the day.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a specific destination in mind of we're going to go to this specific zone to ride because I know it's going to be awesome there, you're just parking at this parking lot and going out and finding the best snow from that parking lot. You better have your guardrails in place, right?
And that's just it. Like a lot of snowmobilers do that. They don't really have an idea on where they're gonna go. So it's more
Yeah,
like, well, we're gonna go up to the top.
yeah,
We're gonna go up
yeah.
the
We're
top
just
of the
headed in.
pass, and then we'll figure it out from there. And I guess when you're gonna do that, just make it known. Like, look, we're gonna stay off of stuff that's over 30 degrees and north facing.
Yeah. What is our hazard for the day? What does the
Yeah.
forecast say? What does the weather say? How do we need to limit our exposure, our risk for the day? And here's what we're putting in play,
Like
right?
I try and plan my routes because I do have like the type of riding that I like to do is exploring or
You've been riding with Dan too
I've
much.
been
You
riding with
got to
Dan
have a
Gardner
loop.
too much. I
If
gotta
it's
have a
not a
loop.
70-mile loop, you didn't. Did you actually
It's
go riding?
yeah, no. Everyone's got to be absolutely smoked at the end of it. So,
Yeah.
but
Everybody but Dan.
that's like if we look at the reality of what snowmobiling is, that's not it for most people.
No,
So I think the
no.
guardrails are far more important than the route planning.
I do think. I think the guardrails are way more important than having like this is exactly where I'm going. The
Yeah,
downside to that I see, and we as operationalists, like you're sending that information to Jessica, right?
yeah,
I'm sending that the information to Aaron or Drew if they're not going out, so that if something were to happen and they needed to send search and rescue or they needed to call out somebody to come save my butt
yeah,
with a route in mind, at least they have somewhere to start.
yeah. I think
All right.
yeah, exactly. Or even make it like a little region or something and saying, hey, we're going to go up into Soapstone today, or we're going to go up into Mill Hollow today.
Yeah.
And just decide that in your bumpers, you're staying in that area.
Yeah.
And at least look at the map, identify some potential hazards, and,
And kind of do that. Hey, these are the guardrails we're going to follow today
yeah,
to keep to stay within our risk tolerance, stay within the hazard for the day, and move forward. Right.
yeah,
I do feel like that's the most important part of the plan. Right.
Yeah.
And then have well, if we get up there and things aren't what we thought they were, we're gonna do this.
Hmm.
Like, giving yourself an out, I think, is really important. Because I think there's certain guys in the sledding community, and I'm not just sledding community. There's just certain individuals that, like, when you say we're going to Soapstone, and you get going down, and you're like, well, I didn't realize I was going to be driving 8 miles of bare pavement to get to
Yeah.
Soapstone today, right?
Yeah.
Maybe let's turn off and go to Mill Hollow, right? Giving you that ability to be like, well, we're not losing or giving up our goal for the day. We're just making smart decisions.
Yeah.
And we already put in place, like, if this doesn't look good, we have already told ourselves we're going to be okay with this over here. So we're not giving up. We're not losing. We're just making a smart decision.
We are. That's what we're supposed to do, guys. There are plenty of days to ride gnarly stuff. We just got
Yeah. Oh
sometimes we
man.
got to wait. I've been
Yeah.
waiting to get into one of my zones all winter long,
Because there's no freaking snow down there.
and we're getting close. But guess what? I'm gonna have to. I know we have the snow coming to do it, but the
Yeah.
problem is I'm gonna have to wait for the avalanche danger to go down before I go in there.
Yeah. But you're still going to get in there. You're going to have a good time.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. It'll be epic when you're in there.
But I have to
But you're
wait.
going to do it when it's safe.
Just gotta wait. Yeah. It
Yeah.
is what it
It's
is.
not worth it. It's not
It's
worth it
not.
if you're not waiting. So,
Yep.
well,
Well,
trying to
cool.
think. Did you have any cool student? I kind of just took that one and ran with it.
Well, I kind of talked about my one student earlier who had taken a ski course a couple years
Oh
ago,
yeah,
and that was just really cool. But I, yeah, I just, I've taught a lot of SAR teams lately. That's been fun.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd say the coolest thing though was I've had a couple students reach out, send me some videos on Instagram of snowmobilers doing dumb things on big slopes. Yo, DJ, what do you think about this? And I'll be like,
Uh,
well, one, I
yeah.
need to know the avalanche danger, like what date,
Oh yeah. There's a
what was
lot there.
what was actually going on. Because look, man, there's definitely days. I was watching a Muskoka freerider today.
Uh huh.
And he climbed up this huge, huge slope into this gully, and got way up
Yeah.
there. And he was like, "Man, that's dumb. Why am I up here? Why am I?" And and I'm like, "Dude, that is a big slope." But again, I don't know what the danger
There's days
was.
you can ride that.
Yeah,
There are
like,
days you can ride that
and I
for
think
sure.
I think Matt's a smart enough guy to understand that.
Yeah.
I think more or less, his reasoning why he thought it was dumb was more or less because like he didn't really have a plan when he
Yeah.
got up there, and then like the descent was just
Oh, I bet
gnarly
that was gnarly.
because trying to get
Yeah.
up he was slipping on rocks, and so it's like, well, now you're descending into those same rocks,
Yeah,
and
that's
so I
awesome.
but he pulled his drone out, scoped a line out, and was like, I think this is my best bet, and he did it. He made it happen.
Now you want me to go watch this?
But it was really cool because he talked about that. He got on, he talked about it. He's a real person. He admits, maybe this was dumb. Like, that's one thing that I do enjoy about him. He came out here in Utah and rode with me
Yeah.
2 seasons ago. Dude, he's so much fun. He and Caleb Kosturkey. It was like one of the funnest 2 days of my life in a long time. Just seeing those boys go big, and um, but it's cool
Yeah.
to see that they're human. It's cool to see Caleb pushing
Oh,
the
dude.
envelope with avalanche safety. It's cool to see
Yes.
Matt being a real human, talking about his mistakes. Like, uh, love both those dudes.
No, and that's what we
Yeah,
need. Honestly, we need that in the industry.
we do.
Right? We need people to be like, hey, we talked about that. I'm really enjoying Hanky and his videos that he's
Yep.
posting. Like, he's talking about what's going on. He's showing. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the conversations. These are the things you need to be looking at. This is how we keep each other safe when we're on the mountain, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Right?
good. It's
It's
good.
awesome. Well, sweet dude.
Cool.
Well, weekend's coming up. I guess. Fingers crossed. Aaron's teaching the level 2, and you're going out guiding.
Yep. That's what I hope.
I'm staying back and hopefully taking my kids out for one more trip.
Good.
Might be their last sled trip of the year.
Yeah.
We'll see. Um, and then the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're like avalanche, avalanche, avalanche course. So
Oh yeah, it's gonna get
you haven't
crazy in
signed
those.
up, get signed up. There's
In the
options.
comments, I threw in the comments um,
Awesome,
links to Stable Mountain courses and links to Mountain Slayer courses. So check
sweet.
those out. But
And they're kind of all over. You got Utah options, you got Southeast Idaho options, you got Western Idaho options. We got Montana, Southern Montana options, Southwest Montana
and
options.
and remember,
Um,
if you want to book a private course, hit
yeah,
us up. We can make it happen.
we're working on. In fact, hopefully within the next day or two, we got. I'm gonna reach out to some guys, but we have a. I think we'll do our first snow bike only
Ooh, that's cool.
specific
I've been
avalanche
talking
course.
about that forever, and I haven't executed it. So
Well,
good,
we're gonna. I think
good
we're gonna
on
get
you
it done,
guys.
DJ.
Good on you
I think we're
guys.
gonna get it done. Hopefully, we can get that guy filled up.
Let's
There's
do one in
only going to be
Utah.
12 spots. There's only going to be 12 spots available for that guy. So
What if I get a snow
we'll come on up. You don't have to
bike?
be a student. You can come help.
Sweet.
Get your connections with all your bike stuff and get a snow bike.
I'm trying to build an electric snow bike. All right, it's gonna be cool.
Ooh. Well,
I'll,
speaking about electric bikes, I'm going to call you about that stuff later. So,
okay.
all right, man. It was good
Okay.
talking with you tonight,
All
dude.
right. We'll see you
So
guys later. Tune
we'll see
in
you.
next Sunday. We'll be around.
Sunday's like 3 days away. You're going to do it in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
Maybe
get.
you should grab Aaron
I'm gonna
Sunday.
get Aaron.